Hi friends and welcome. Today we are here to watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It is season 5, episode 6 called Family. The last episode was so big because we were talking about Joyce sort of being sick and we were talking about Dawn and apparently being the key, whatever the hell that means. And I really feel like this episode has all the potential to be a continuation of that. In the end of the previous episode, we sort of find out that like a true confirmation that Dawn is not actually Buffy's sister. And it was really interesting to have Buffy figure that out and the way that she's coping with it. I loved being able to see that. I think it was one of the strongest parts of the last episode to see how much she still accepted her even though she knew that she was not her sister. So I'm really curious to know how that's going to play off in this episode, just because I feel like we still have to discuss that. While Buffy, I think, had like the best reaction she could have to finding out the truth, I do wonder if with time she's going to end up detaching herself from Dawn, if she's going to start having some troubles. And I am very concerned about Joyce in this episode because I feel like Joyce is one of those characters that's definitely not on my safe list. I feel like Joyce is a character that from the start, how can I say this? She has some potential to die, if that makes sense, because it's a really like harsh death, but not one that would wreck us in the same way that if it was like Willow, for example. So I'm a little bit concerned because, she was sick, they seem concerned, and this could really be a moment where Buffy and Dawn could really disagree because Buffy could really sort of position herself in a place that's like, no, I will be taking the decisions for my mother because you're not actually my sister. I feel like there's so much potential where drama can come in to that storyline. I do think that we're gonna have to focus on Joyce and Dawn this episode. I mean, the name is Family. I'm excited to have all my questions probably not answered. And I can't believe we're already 6 episodes into season 5. Like, this feels like it's getting real. It feels like we're gonna get to the meaty part of the season because I always know exactly how to phrase what I want to say. I feel like we're gonna get to a bunch of stuff happening like really soon and things are starting to pick up a lot, both here and in Angels. Hi friends, this is Domi from the future. I wanted to come here very quickly before we actually head into this reaction to say that I finally got around to editing this episode, which I am so excited about. This has been the episode that I have been waiting to finally get to editing. So it's been like literally 7 months, I want to say. Don't quote me on that. I don't know math. But anyways, it's been a really long time since I watched this episode. So I've had a lot of time to like think about it. And I can say with certainty that while it might not be the best episode of Buffy, because, there are episodes like Hush and, a certain episode at the later end of season 5, which I will not name. Those are definitely like, I want to say top tier, like perfect episodes, but at the same time, while those might be like the best episodes in terms of like, I don't know, screenwriting and like just the story of them, I think this is like my favorite episode. So I just wanted to say that. Is it the best? Well, yes, actually. I was going to say no, but the reality is that yes, it is the best. But my point was, it is definitely my favorite episode of Buffy. It used to be I Will Remember You. I used to say that was my favorite episode of the Buffyverse just because it really tugs with my heartstrings and that's just, I love that episode. But I think it's been officially, I want to say dethroned. I have literally watched this episode 7 times and I wish I was kidding. I am actually not. I am obsessed with this episode. It is that good. Hi guys, this is Future Domi. I am stopping by very quickly. I am a little bit more in the future than the other Future Domi you just saw, but I wanted to come in here and make one small note, which I kind of loved the timing of this. I am actually posting this video 1 year on the dot after I posted I Will Remember You, which, fun fact, was on my birthday. I knew that this, episode was going to be coming out at more or less this time. But, because my schedule has been so inconsistent, I'm so sorry about that, by the way. I didn't know if I was going to be able to get it to work this week, but, I did my best. And, well, if you're watching this, that means I succeeded. So yay for me. It just felt so special to post my favorite episode on my birthday. And I was so happy when that timing lined up. Last year, when I posted I Will Remember You on my birthday, I was like, this just feels so right. Like, the universe is on my side. And then now, getting to post Family on my birthday, it's like, wow, yes. And so now we need to do the math and figure out what episode I'm going to be posting on my birthday next year so that we can know what's going to be my new favorite episode of the Buffy. Because it's probably going to be that. This Domi from the future just finished season 5 like 2 weeks ago, but we're not going to talk about that finale. I'm just not going there. But I just wanted to say that now that I've watched season 5 in its entirety, I can still stick by what I said, that this is my favorite episode, not just of season 5, but of the entire Buffyverse. So with that being said, I'm gonna let y'all go into this video. I apologize so much for the length. I tried to narrow this down as much as I could, but I couldn't do it. But hopefully some people are going to enjoy a little bit of a longer reaction. And if you are one of those people, you should definitely go check out my Patreon. Anyways, I hope you guys have fun, and without further ado, let's head into family.
She was very little, and she was all alone, and nobody wanted her.
This is a very upsetting story.
Oh, but it gets better. There were lots of other kitties, and there were puppies, and some ferrets.
Were the dolphins?
Do you mind if I keep the light on? I was gonna look up some spells.
It's fine. I don't need to be snuggled.
Oh my god. Don't do this.
You're essential.
Oh my god. I cannot.
Do you think Buffy found out anything tonight?
If there was something, I figured she'd
Oh
call
my
us.
god! I love them so much.
Tell me about it.
Oh, good. We're confiding in Giles. Okay.
No. She thinks she's my kid sister.
Should we be thinking about sending Dawn away?
Away where?
I don't know. Your father's?
Yeah, he's, in Spain with his secretary.
Oh.
I called him when Mom got sick. He hasn't even...
I'm sorry.
This motherfucker.
She wasn't there, but I can still feel what it was like.
This is crazy.
They sent her to me, Giles. I think I have to take care of her. I want to.
Do we tell the others?
No. No one. They'd act weird around her. And it's safer for everyone if they don't know.
It's true.
She'll come.
Oh.
She'll come for us.
Oh shit. She means right now. Okay.
Okay. Now I'm upset.
Well, that's not great. I feel like Buffy is making the right choice and not telling Dawn, because it is true, she could freak out, and I feel like she could be the kind to just run away from what we know of her, and like we never see her again, and that would put everything, you know, like not super safe for everybody. So I do understand her not wanting to tell Dawn, but I just feel like she's gonna find out. Yeah. And she also mentioned that Joyce is still sick, like when Joyce got sick. So I'm back to worried. I'm on worried land right now. I just need Joyce to get out of this episode alive. Please.
Giles, I noticed you're doing the smallest amount of helping that can actually be called helping.
Well, I saw myself in more of a patriarchal sort of role. You know, lots of pointing and scouting.
That.
You two, stop that!
He started it. He called me a bad man. I think it was bad. It might have been Latin.
You know, with Mom not being well, I'm hardly ever here. Just figured I'd save a little cash for the semester, that's all.
This is scaring me.
Yeah, you learn her source, and we'll introduce her to her insect reflection. That was funny. If you study Tagler and Mythic Rites, and are a complete dork.
She's trying so hard.
Guys, now remember, you have to be at the Bronze by 8. Bronze. Tomorrow night, Tara's birthday.
Oh!
Right.
Aren't you off? Yeah, as of now. Have fun.
I don't like the fact that we're seeing him for the 3rd episode. Like... Mr. Sir. Please be a good guy who's gonna help save Joyce. Okay, I'm too traumatized by bodies coming out of lockers. I thought it was gonna be the red dress lady. This was not a pleasant surprise for me. What the fuck is that tongue?
I need a favor.
Okay, it's red dress.
They give us money in exchange for goods. You give me money for working for you. I have a place in the world now. I'm part of the system. I'm a working gal.
Yay, capitalism.
Can't be more specific about what she's like.
She was kind of like Cordelia, actually.
Oh my god.
I'm pretty sure she dyes her hair.
Ah, yes, that one, of course, our work is done.
I mean, I don't really know her that well.
I know.
I mean, she's nice.
Yeah, nice. It just, I sort of...
I don't necessarily get her.
Oh, this is...
Do something to work off the tension.
Oh. Oh. Where did this come from? I'm sorry. Is this Spike's, like, dream or something? I thought they were gonna kiss. Oh. Well, that's awkward.
Her insect reflection, that is so good. I just thought that'd be funny, you know, if her center of power was...
What do you know? What's the matter? You don't have a hug for your big brother?
Oh, so that's the family we're gonna be talking about?
How did you find... I mean, how come you came?
Well, duh, birthday girl. We came down in the camper, been all over the campus.
We?
Look what I found.
Oh my god. Are we meeting the family?
Dad, hi. Cousin Beth. Hey.
One of your
Oh my god, is that Amy Adams?
Oh,
Like, this is
Melinda's a bad influence. I don't like you hanging out with someone that short.
I'm so glad you're moving back into the house. This is the source of my gladness.
wow, she listens to Buffy though.
I know you got a lot in your mind. You decide you want to let me in on any of it. You let me know.
Oh shit.
I'll come running.
He really will.
I suppose you wanted me to see all these toys.
Okay.
You don't even try to hide it anymore.
So he's not a believer.
I'd hoped maybe you'd gotten over the whole witchcraft thing. That if we let you go, you'd get it out of your system.
it won't mean that...
You're turning 20. It's the same age your mother was when she... Do your friends even know?
Yes?
Are you lying to me? Terry, you're coming home with us. You know it's the only way.
Home?
You can't control what's going to happen. You have evil inside of you, and it will come out.
No!
Letting yourself work all this magic is only going to make it worse.
It doesn't feel evil. Sir.
Evil never does. I don't feel much like eating right now. I'll give you some time. But we need to be gone by morning.
No, there's... Now I know she can't be leaving.
How do you think your friends are going to feel when they see your true face?
What is this supposed to mean? Why did it cut to like a demon clown monster thing shit? I'm so concerned. This is so interesting though.
Do you have any idea what I'm talking about?
A slayer? Oh god, please don't tell me I was fighting a vampire slayer. How unbelievably common. If I had friends and they heard about this, and you know she's going around telling everybody, I mean, find the girl, kill the girl, okay, baby?
Wait, I have a theory.
You have the cutest little separating sores.
Is this Tara's mom, maybe? Like, I know the age doesn't add up, but her name? Okay, we'll discuss later.
You sure you don't wanna? Look, my family's here, okay? I can't just... Not everything is about your friends and stuff.
Oh shit.
Sorry.
I thought she was gonna say goodbye. Is she just gonna straight up leave Tara, what's happening?
Blind Cadria, desolate queen, work my will upon them all.
What?
Your curse upon them. My obeisance to you.
What does this mean? Tara, what are you doing? What do you mean your will? I don't like the sound of this.
Vodka tonic.
I'm Sandy.
I know he's not gonna cheat on Buffy.
Oh, I ran into Carol Bates. You know, she sired Brandon from the sewer gang. And she said the layoff demon was recruiting his brethren to kill the Slayer.
God, that would be pleasant.
Well, if
Is
they
he
do, I
going
think
to
we should do
protect
something.
her?
Like a gift basket or something.
This is interesting. Okay, Tara, I want to trust you, but you're looking kind of sketchy.
Tara,
Beth, what are you?
I was looking for you.
Beth, I'm not coming back with you.
Okay, good.
You're not?
I don't think so.
You selfish bitch.
What?
Oh my god,
You don't care the
Beth.
slightest bitty bit about your family, do you? Doesn't matter how innocent you act, they'll see.
No, they won't.
They will. Unless you do some kind of spell on them.
Oh shit! Tara!
You did.
No,
You did something to them.
it was just so they wouldn't see. So they wouldn't see the demon part of me.
She's... What? She's part demon? What does this mean? Is this like, oh, ma'am, she's stretchy. Okay. I don't... I'm so confused.
I thought I heard something.
Oh, wait, is she part clown thing? Please tell me her family's not a bunch of demon clowns. I'm gonna flip shit.
If I were you, I'd tell them first. And then I'd tell them goodbye.
Ah, this is... what? Oh no. Oh no. Oh, this is no. I really, really... no. Fuck. Damn. Oh my god. He's actually saving her. Oh, Spiky.
Blind Cadria, lift your veil, give evil form, and break my spell.
That was smart. Oh my god, she's so... Okay.
I don't understand.
I'm not sure I do either.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I was trying to hide.
Demon. The women in our family have demon in them.
Really got us killed.
I'll go.
But it's...
I'm very sorry.
The camper's
Yo-
outside.
Wait. Go?
Exactly.
She just did a spell that went wrong. It was just a mistake. I trusted you more than anyone in my life. Was all that just a lie?
No.
No, do you want to leave?
It's not your decision, young lady.
I know that. Do you want to leave?
You're going to do what's right, Tara. The girl belongs with her family. I hope that's clear to the rest of you.
Buffy, please stand up for Tara.
It is. You want her, Mr. McClay? You can go ahead and take her.
Buffy?
You just gotta go through me.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, okay, thank you.
You want to take Tara out of here against her will? You gotta come through me.
Willow looks so happy.
You're not just dealing with two little girls.
You're dealing with all of us. Except me. Except Spike.
I don't care what happens.
This is insane. You people have no right to interfere with Tara's affairs. We are her blood kin. Who the hell are you?
We're family.
Dad? You gonna let him just
shit.
Hey!
He hit my nose.
Oh, okay, no, actually, okay.
Him, I mean.
Okay, that's good.
That only works on humans.
There's no demon in there. It's just a family legend, am I right? Just a bit of spin to keep the ladies in line. You're a piece of work. I like you.
I'm not a demon. You're not a demon. You hurt my nose.
Yeah, you're welcome.
If you want to turn your back.
Just go.
Oh, damn.
Are you happy now?
Aww. And I love that Buffy brings Dawn to everything.
Good birthday. Best birthday. I still can't believe you didn't tell me about your family and all that. I think about what you grew up with, and then I look at what you are. It makes me proud. It makes me love you more.
Oh my god!
Even when I'm at my worst. You always make me feel special. How do you do that? Magic.
Oh my god. I really thought they were gonna kiss, but it's okay. It's okay. This is so... my god. They're just so cute, guys. Oh my god, they're floating. That's so cute. Literally, what the fuck? Oh my god. Wow. I feel like I have so much to say about this episode. This was absolutely fucking brilliant. Holy shit. Oh my god, I love it. I love it. I think this was the best episode of season 5 so far. Even though the last one was like really interesting, this one just really got to me. I guess maybe because I love Tara as a character and I feel like we hadn't had... yeah, I feel like this is the first episode that was focused on her and that we actually get to see her interact with people that are not in the squad, like more than just Willow. So it was really like such a big insight as to like who she is. And I loved it. I loved it. I mean, first of all, I'm a lot calmer because I had been worried ever since she screwed up that spell. I think it was like 416 or something. I had my suspicions that like maybe she could be into some sketchy stuff and I was a little bit concerned. But now we finally get to see that like it's fine. She's not evil or anything. She was just concerned and worried and just wanted to protect herself. And she was making mistakes just like any sort of 19-year-old would do. And just, oh my god, I feel like I need to make coherent thoughts. It's fine. The timing of this episode was just also so perfect for me personally because I'm always ahead on Patreon just because it takes so long to edit for YouTube, which means I'm always a few episodes behind. So last night I was editing 419 New Moon Rising. So this is like the perfect timing for me because I had just gone down that Tillo spiral like last night. And I remember it actually made me a little bit upset because I feel like I have talked about this. Sometimes the best part of a relationship can be like the before the relationship actually starts. That whole like will they, won't they, and that chemistry and just like the waiting and the build up and all of that. And I feel like New Moon Rising was just such a good episode. And I feel like we hadn't focused on Tara and Willow too much after that. And maybe I'll like change my mind after I re-edit, you know, the episodes that come after it. But it just left me with a feeling of, I hope I haven't gone through the like best parts of Tillo. I was hoping for more. I was like, I hope that they can still make me feel the way that they made me feel in that episode. And this episode definitely reached that for me because I love that it was focused not just on Tillo, but also on the squad's relationship with Tara. It was just so beautiful. And I have to say that like First of all, they were a lot more romantic than I thought, because starting off the episode with both of them sharing a bed, I feel like I never know how far this show is going to take things. They have surprised me quite a few times with like how brave they can get with it, because I feel like, you know, they're so avoiding that kiss. Like the ending, it's like not the first time that it feels like it's going to lead up to a kiss and it doesn't, and I do feel like this is probably just because they're too sort of scared to go there, but I like that they make up for it in different ways, because the scene of them like floating in the end is honestly better than that. The whole idea of their relationship being magic and them floating, like because they're just so happy and so in love, is just so adorable. Like this was just the best episode ever. Definitely tricked me in regards to like where I thought the story was going to go, especially with Buffy moving back in. That concerned me. I was like, it's fine, let me get my tissues because Joyce is about to die. And I can't say that I'm not still concerned about that. We did seem to take an episode away from Joyce, which is surprising given how present she was in the last one, how present the idea of Joyce was in this one. I'm not sure how long they're gonna make us wait for that story, but I do hope that we get to like fix Joyce very soon, because I'm genuinely concerned for her and her health. And like I said, Buffy moving back in is also so interesting though, and I really like that because it makes me nostalgic for like old Buffy. I feel like things changed so much when she went to college, and I feel like seeing her move back in is not something that I had thought about like at all. I feel like usually when you make like the move sort of out, it's interesting to see her actually come back in because they need her. Not just, you know, Joyce, but also I think Dawn really needs her right now that she found out that she's the key and that she has to protect this girl. It feels like the right choice, but it also feels just like a weird concept. I feel like it's going to be weird to see Buffy back in that house when we spent a whole season of her sort of being away and even like neglecting Joyce in some ways. Because I feel like I was really frustrated by how little we saw Joyce in season 4 and by like how much she seemed to miss Buffy. And I like that we seem to be exploring that relationship again, because as we all know, I was not the biggest fan of Joyce in season 1. I am so sorry to Joyce. When I rewatched season 1, I was like, this is a good mother. I'm sorry to this woman for judging her. But anyways, like I have really been growing to love Joyce, and so I like that we are going to explore, it seems like we're going to explore a lot more of this family dynamic this season, not just with Buffy and Dawn, which is obviously a huge part of what we've seen so far of the season, but also maybe with Joyce and Buffy, and maybe Joyce and Dawn too. And I also like that we explored a little bit of Giles as the father figure. I like that he called himself sort of the father figure of all of them, you know, like the paternal figure. It is very true. I don't think any of these characters have good relationships with their fathers from what I can remember. So I like that Giles can sort of step up for all of them. Obviously his connection is so much stronger with Buffy, but I also feel like we caught a small glimpse of him being a little bit protective about Dawn this episode, which I really enjoyed. I think there was just a scene where he was standing behind her or something, and it really just felt like he had that bond with her in a similar ish way than he has with Buffy. And it was very interesting to talk about Buffy's father. I'm always wondering if things are setups, and I don't know if this was a setup to set up Tara's dad who came in and it was a shock, or if this is just a way to tell us that like this man is not coming back. I feel like it is going to be interesting to see what he's going to do if Joyce gets worse, if Joyce gets to a point where she's like, you know, on the verge of death and stuff. I wonder if he's gonna have to step in. I wonder if he could become more involved in the show. If, God forbid, which I'm still very worried about, if Joyce dies, I wonder if Buffy's father would, like, because legally he would sort of have to step in, right? Because they can't be, Dawn can't be like an unattended minor. Like she would need a guardian, and I don't think Buffy could be that person because she's not old enough. So I wonder if this is all a setup for Buffy's father sort of coming back. I think the whole idea of Buffy's father is that he is not a present dad, that, you know, Giles is much more of a dad to her. So I don't think that they would be bringing him back in this way. But it's really fascinating to talk about her family, and I really enjoy this focus of the season. You know, it was kind of lovely to see how Dawn and Buffy's relationship was this episode, just because she really seemed like the overprotective sister. There are just so many things about Buffy that I think make her so great, and this being one of them, how concerned she is for Dawn, even though she knows that that's not her sister. I feel like Buffy's indifference, like, would tell me more about how little she cares about her. I feel like even though being like sort of a helicopter parent, like a helicopter sister and overprotective can be annoying for Dawn, I think it just shows me how much Buffy cares about her. So I love that, even though Buffy's gonna need to chill out a little because it did seem extreme, like she's gonna notice something is up, which leads me to my second point of I wonder how they're going to be dealing with all of this. I love that Buffy didn't have to think twice about confiding in Giles. This is amazing. It shows why their relationship is so special. The fact that he would be the one that she picks to talk about something like this. Because my gut would maybe take me to Willow and think that she would be confiding in her best friend, but I like that she knows that Giles is like sort of more mature, he would know how to deal with this better, and he's able to form a bond with her that's so special that it almost feels like she is telling a friend while also telling a parental figure. So it's like the best of both worlds, really. So I love that she confided in him. I do think that they made the right choice in not telling the rest of the squad, because it is true, they would be treating her weird. Like if Buffy's already treating her weird, I can't imagine how the rest of them, like Xander would freak out a little, and I just know it. So it is the right choice, but at the same time, I feel like Dawn's meant to find out about this, and I feel like it's really gonna wreck her when she does. So I'm afraid for whenever that storyline is going to happen. I thought maybe this could be the plot for this episode because they seem to be talking a little bit about that, but I don't think we're going there quite yet. And I feel like the longer the buildup, the more like earth-shattering it's going to be for her when she finds out. And it's just still so fascinating to see how reality is being like bended in this. I'm curious to know about this. I'm just gonna call her Red Dress Lady because I don't think we know her name yet. She did say her name. Oh yeah, this leads me to like a really crazy ass theory. Are y'all ready for this? Please take your seats because it's time for me to get predictions wrong again. But you know, when she said, and I'm not sure if she has said her name before. If she has, I'm spitballing for nothing. But like I said, I am so behind on editing, so I have only watched, you know, all those previous episodes like once. So there's so much that I miss, which I feel like just happens when you're watching a show for the first time. So forgive me, please. But she did say that her name was like meaningful or big or something. And that made me think, hello, Thespia, the god, whatever, the one that I keep thinking is Tara's mom. So I wonder if she could be that goddess that we have been talking about. Because she referred to Buffy as a human, which means she's not human, which we kind of already knew. And I feel like she doesn't look like a demon, so being a goddess would explain her powers, you know, and it would make sense, maybe, given what we have been talking about this season. So maybe she's the goddess Thespia. Maybe I'm just going insane and you guys are like laughing at me, which sounds more probable. Yeah, my sister's laughing at me. Thank you so much for the moral support. Because it is interesting to find out that her family was literally gaslighting her about being a demon. Like, that is some scary shit. The fact that you're born and raised hearing this one thing and only for her to find out that it's not actually the truth. It makes me a little bit concerned, and it also makes me wonder why they wanted to bring her. And it makes me wonder everything that I know about sort of Tara's mom. Like, this episode kind of made it seem like her mom died when she turned 20. I wonder if maybe she actually didn't die, but this was just an excuse that the family used because, I don't know, she went into witchcraft because she became a god. Like, I don't know how this works. I really don't. But I do feel like the fact that we know that they're lying makes me feel like maybe Tara's mom is not dead, and maybe we can get to see her. Maybe she is the red dress lady. Maybe Domi is just going absolutely insane, but I'm curious to find out, that's for sure. I want to also briefly talk about Tara's cousin, Amy Adams. Like, this is my favorite casting that this show has ever done. Amy Adams is literally one of my favorite actresses. I have a huge poster of her in Arrival, which I have mentioned is my favorite movie, staring at me right in my poster wall. Love Amy Adams. So this was insane. Like, I love that they picked an actress that I absolutely adore to play like Tara's family. And I feel like I shouldn't want to see her again because she was a terrible character and definitely into like just not taking Tara to good places. but I love Amy Adams so much that I would very much like Tara's cousin to just join the gang. And I don't care what shit she's stirring up. I love Amy Adams and I will take it. No questions asked. In general, it was so interesting to see Tara's family. Not just because it shows us like her backstory in a way, just like, you know, I really enjoy the conversation with Willow at the end of the episode, just because it was so interesting to see that I think Willow understands exactly what Tara's going through, because the one time we saw Willow's mom, she was like not a good person. And I feel like with that experience, Willow can understand how hard it is for her to become her own person and not be like her mother. So I feel like she looks up to Tara even more, knowing how much she had to fight to become the awesome person that she is away from her family. So I love that they can sort of like bond in this like bad way of like kind of shitty parents in a way. I do think that it's very big for Tara to be letting go of her family like for good. It does make me wonder if we are going to see them again, because I feel like this storyline definitely seemed so big and such a huge moment slash thing for Tara. And I still wonder, could anything happen to her? Because we did establish she's not a demon, but like, you know, something probably happened to her mom. And I wonder if it would happen to her too. Not sure what it could be, but I wonder if the gaslighting that the family is putting her through comes from an actual, some sort of truth that they're, you know, altering. So I feel like we very much could be seeing the family again. So it would be interesting to see also how she's going to be doing without them, because I feel like it is a really big thing to sort of be cut off, which kind of seems like is what was happening there. And I love, 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 like my favorite scene in this episode, and maybe one of my favorite scenes in the entire show so far, like hands down, is the scene where they all stand up for her and say that she is their family. It is so, so beautiful, and it completely reminds me, and I feel like there's no way that this wasn't purposeful, of the concept of like a found family, which is so popular for queer sort of teenage kids and stuff like that. Just the idea of sometimes your family's not going to accept you, so you have to find your found family. And I feel like this was a nod to that, because even though they were not talking about, you know, Tara and Willow's relationship in that way, in regards to their family accepting or not, I do think that there was a very prevalent theme of letting go of the family and getting your own family that doesn't have to be blood. They can still be your family. They can still stand up for you and be so much better for you than your actual blood family. So I just think it was such a good, like, just payoff, you know, because in the beginning of the episode, I was very concerned about Buffy and Xander's talk. Like, they really seemed to not understand Tara at all. And I did want them to become friends, but I feel like it's so great to know that even though they might not understand her, they might not get her humor, Anya's making the effort to understand her humor, even if they disagree. I like that Buffy is there to stand up for Tara, even if she doesn't feel as close to her. I love how she had no hesitations about defending her no matter what it takes, you know. And I also love that Willow didn't take the betrayal too personally, because I was very afraid about, you know, when she says, oh, was everything a lie? I was like, oh shit, like I'm not ready for Tara and Willow to break up. This is not why I'm watching this show. I will not let that happen. But I was worried because it does feel like a big thing, and I wouldn't exactly hold it against Willow if she was a little bit pissed off, if she needed a break from Tara. It would be hard because I understand where Tara's coming from, and it's all out of fear, and it's all about like those teenage mistakes, but at the same time I would understand Willow holding some resentment for it, but I love that she didn't. The only thing she cared about was making sure that Tara did what she thought was right for her, which means staying. So I love that she stood up for her, even if they were sort of almost fighting. I love that she didn't, you know, hold that against her. Like in the end, they didn't need to have a talk of like, I'm sorry I lied to you and stuff like that. Like they resolved it all. And I feel like it keeps going back to that idea from Hush that they don't need to talk. They understand each other so well. They don't need an apology of like, I know what I did was wrong. Like Willow already knows exactly what Tara would say, and they're always sort of in the same page when it comes to that. And about like Tara's, you know, decisions, I do think she fucked up this episode, but I do think that we have seen literally every single character on this show fuck up at a certain point. So it was meant to happen. And I do think that she had such strong reasons for doing it. Like, obviously, her family, she can't count on them. And now that she found another family, she wasn't ready to lose them. She didn't want to scare them off. Also, I feel like it's so telling that her first instinct when she sees her brother is to ask him, how did he find her? I was like, damn. Because this is more than just a family growing apart when a child goes to college. She's clearly trying to hide from them. So I'm glad that that relationship seems to be like very sort of over. I don't know why, but this brother actor, I feel like it was such good casting. He really reminded me of Tara for some reason. As soon as they said he was her brother, I was like, holy shit, how did I not see it before? I do really love how Dawn is really involved sort of with the squad, because I feel like with an, oh my god, I'm gonna offend my sister so much. She's looking at me still so scared. I feel like it would be okay for Buffy not to want Dawn to like hang out with her friends, if that makes sense. My sister's judging me. This was not the best episode to watch with her here. Or she's gonna kill me. I just feel like, you know what I mean? They are completely different ages, completely different phases, and I feel like it is okay for Buffy to sort of want her friends to be like her friends, which is what we were seeing a little bit in moments of the previous episode. But at the same time, I love how she, probably because she wants to stay close to Dawn, but I love how she's not opposed to like bringing her to Tara's party and those kind of things. Like, I love how she brings her into the magic shop and they're doing their things. And I know that it's to keep an eye out on her, but it just makes me feel like they actually have such a good relationship in a way that she is totally fine with, like, you know, her friends have sort of become Dawn's friends too, which is the case for my sister, okay? I'm not shitting on you. My sister, I have friends that like my sister more than they like me, which is fine, and it happens. And I just feel like, don't laugh, it's true. And I just like that, you know, their relationship just is really one of my favorite parts of this season so far. Seeing where it's gonna go, seeing, you know, just how they handle it and how it's going to change, because I feel like it's really got to change when the truth starts coming out and stuff like that. In general, I'm just happy Tara's family is not the like creepy clown killer demon things. That scared me for a second. I thought Tara could be one of them, and those were like some of the creepiest demons we've seen. I didn't really like them, but something that I thought was interesting about them is that they were going to attack the doctor. I do know this actor from How to Get Away with Murder, which is like helping me recognize him. And it is interesting that we keep seeing this doctor. And what was interesting too is that the creepy clown thing people were headed towards the doctor before Red Dress Lady stopped them. So I'm trying to see the connections there. And I have to say that I was curious about this character. Maybe she is our big bad. Because in the last episode, I wasn't sure if she had died, but she seems to have like general, like a really strong mission when it comes to like Dawn, sort of the key, sort of Buffy. Like, she seems to really be connected with this storyline we're talking about. So I do think it would make sense for her to be a big bad. Because usually I feel like we sort of see demons for one episode, they die, and like whenever we see them for more than one episode, especially two, like right now, she's not dead yet, so I know we're gonna have to see her again. I feel like that definitely has to mean that she might be a big bad. So I'm curious. I think, you know, I always think that they haven't presented us to the big bad, and I always get so surprised when I'm like, wait, they've been presented sort of all along. So I do think that she might be it. And I'm really curious to see more about who she is, where her powers come from, because it does make it very hard to defeat somebody when you don't know what they are and stuff like that. So definitely a lot of curiosities, but she does seem like a really cool villain because I love her humor. I love how well Buffy writes humor in regards to villains. I feel like the best villains are the ones that are like sassy and stuff like that, and she has the best like irony, like just the way that she talks to people really cracks me up. So I'm curious to see about her. And talking about other villains, even though I'm not sure I can call him a villain, we have Spike, which just not sure how to process that. He has changed so much since he made the discovery that he is actually into Buffy. And it's sort of fascinating. I love that when Harmony said that, you know, somebody has a plan to kill the Slayer, usually this would be the moment where Spike's like, great, let's go. And I like that he did go like, great, let's go, but to the opposite side, he went there and protected her and defended her. And this is so interesting because I figured that he would do it and he would like sneak out before any questions could be asked or anything like that, but he stayed. He was there during the scene. Like, I feel like that's gotta come up. I feel like there's no way that Buffy's not noticing what's happening, right? Because if Spike shows up and sort of helps her defeat the clown people, I feel like Buffy has got to be like, wait, what's happening? Why is he fighting on our side? You know? So this is really interesting because I feel like it's definitely starting to set up each time more for Spike and Buffy's relationship, which is going to be coming up. I'm just so interested to see how Buffy is going to react to this information, because Spike is reacting completely differently. I thought he was going to be in denial, but he seems to really understand that, like, oh no, I like her, like there's nothing I can do about it, I just do. And I feel like it's going to be really interesting to see if Buffy is going to reciprocate those feelings or if she's going to be completely appalled by it until she eventually changes her mind. I have no idea, but I'm really curious. I feel like I am each time more fascinated by that relationship, especially because Buffy and Riley, they really have their sweet moments, which I love them, but they also have so many problems. And I feel like this episode showed to me that Buffy needs to be the one to break up with Riley. Because ever since the realization that we had in episode 3, where Riley says he knows that Buffy doesn't love him, I figured that, like, he would be breaking up with her, or that he would at least be having a conversation about this. The fact that he hasn't makes it seem like he has known this all along, and if he hasn't broken up with her yet, I'm not sure he will. So I feel like this has gotta come from Buffy, but I feel like Buffy still thinks she likes him / loves him. Like, I feel like she's into him, so I don't know what would make her change her mind and realize that, like, oh, I have to break up with this man. I wonder if Spike could have something to do with that, or if they're gonna break up on their own. Back to Spike, I like that he immediately says he doesn't care about Tara and that they can do whatever they want with her, except he punches her, which, surprisingly enough, is the biggest proof that he could give that he actually cares. And I'm not sure if he cares for Tara because he's starting to care about people, or if he cares for Tara because Buffy cares about her, and he started, you know, he sort of wants to impress her maybe and stuff like that. But I do think it's like such a contrast to have his actions not be the same as what he's saying. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of these contradictions when it comes to Spike's character, especially with this new romance. Like, I have to say, I am really excited about it. It feels weird every time that they're sort of together and like they give each other these looks and these stares, but I'm still kind of digging it. So we'll see. It was also great to see Harmony again, even though I don't like that she is back with Spike. I don't like that relationship. Spike is like a really toxic boyfriend to Harmony. He is like violent, he's not great, it feels very abusive, it feels very wrong. So I don't love that relationship. I'm not super happy they brought it back. It makes me happy only because we get to see Harmony, who I love, and she was so funny this episode. The things that she was saying about like the vampire gangs or whatever, like the way that she was talking about them was truly one of the funniest things I've ever seen. And so I love being able to have Harmony back, but I do hope that we're able to separate her from Spike again, because I feel like she has all the potential to be her own individual character without needing the Spike romance to bring her into the story. So, but in general, this really was one of my favorite episodes we have seen of Buffy. I will constantly be thinking about just the scene of them saying their family, how beautiful that was, how much they stood up when they needed to stand up for Tara, and how much it showed that they actually care about her, even if they weren't even aware of it themselves. So I'm really happy. This was really one of the best episodes we have seen. And just, I can't wait to see more of it, because this was so well written, it was so great, and I want more and more and more of this. That was bad accent. Hey guys, it is me, Domi from the future, again, and I kind of just wanted to come back here and just talk a little bit about family. I think the main thing that stood out to me, like rewatching this episode, is the amount of parallels they have to like witchcraft and like being queer. It was something that had already stood out to me when I watched it for the first time, because I definitely felt like they were talking about the topic of a found family. But now that I like rewatched it, I feel like I get to see even more glimpses of that. I was literally, while I was watching the episode right now to edit, while editing it, I was like writing down every fucked up shit that Tara's dad says. Well, not everyone, because he says so much. And it's truly a problem. Like, just that one scene where he comes into her room, like every single thing that came out of his mouth, I was like, it's such a toxic environment, and like the way that he talks to her and his actions, just the fact that he would walk into her room without her permission is kind of weird to me, because it's something if you're close, it's something if you live at your parents' house, but when you have a dorm and you haven't seen your family in so long and you clearly don't get along with them, I do think that is very much invading her privacy. And the fact that he walks in there and has the audacity to tell her like, oh, you wanted me to find these things. No, I am so sorry, sir. You are the one who just walked into her environment right now. And I do think like this immediately reminded me of like how so many like the argument that so many people use is like, oh, I like, sure, you can be queer, but I don't want you to throw your like queerness on my face or whatever. It feels like he was almost saying the same thing of like, don't throw this like witchcraft in my face. And matter of fact is, bro, she isn't. You're the one who went snooping, okay? So I am so pissed about this, man. And I thought I hated Buffy's dad. Well, I do, trust me, I do. But like, I feel like rewatching this episode, there's like an exponential growth of like hatred that comes to Tara's dad. I really do not enjoy that man. He said that, which really, pissed me off. What else did he say that pissed me off? Oh yeah, he told her that like he thought, this one really bums me out. He also tells her like, oh, like we let you off to college thinking you were gonna get it out of your system. I was like, sir, and I do think that is such like a stereotype of like, girls are going to experiment during college. Doesn't mean they're lesbians and stuff like that. Okay, sure. Some girls, yeah. But I think Tara's pretty confident about who she is right now. And he's always talking about witchcraft. Except I really don't think he is. I think so much of the undertone is that, like, he probably very much knows that Tara's queer. It's probably why he was not the kindest to Willow, I want to say, because they kind of hit it off there for a second when she's like, no, I'm not talking to you, bitch. I'm asking Tara if she wants to stay, and I do think it's so interesting how, like, I want to say brutal they are to each other, because I don't know, I'm kind of like a scaredy cat, and I feel like I would be so uncomfortable to like speak that way to a parent of somebody that I know. And I like that Willow is so unafraid at that moment, because the only thing that matters is Tara. She only cares about what Tara thinks, not what her dad thinks. He also says, oh, Tara, your family loves you no matter what. And I'm like, oh, sir. The gaslighting with this family is not just with the whole idea of her being a demon, but also with this idea that they would love her no matter what, when that's not true. They're asking her to give up parts of herself. They're telling her that she can't be who she wants to be in college, that she has to come back and live the life that they want to for her. So he is straight up lying to her face, and I like that she knows it and she's strong enough to be able to stand up for herself, And I think it's interesting that he asks her, he says, you're coming home with us. Yeah, literally, my notebook right now is just a bunch of quotes from this man. Oh, I hate him. But anyways, he says like, oh, you're coming home with us. And I think it's interesting that he still sees it as home, when I can guarantee you that is not how Tara feels about it. I think Tara's definitely found a new family, a new home, and the fact that he is like too blinded to see it is kind of upsetting. But I think it's like, it just felt very realistic. It felt very real. What I like about this show, and I've said it a few times, is that like, sure, we're dealing with vampires and we're dealing with like supernatural stuff, but we're also grounding it to a reality that makes it very understandable and relatable, so the fact that they make all these connections to witchcraft and somebody being queer and sort of struggling with their part of identity, like no, actually not even struggling with their identity, but how to be able to cope with their family's feelings about their identity, I think is something very relatable to a lot of queer people. Even if that's not like your exact experience, I think it's definitely some things that like you have seen people go through and that you know it's a reality. I mean, Tara's dad was just literally like red flags. Like, he is the definition of a red flag. Everything that came out of his mouth, you know, like, I don't think, like, watching it the first time, I don't think I even acknowledged how abusive he was. I knew that he was not a good guy, but I feel like it takes on a very different light the more that I rewatch it, and the more like fucked up what he says to her is, you know. I really, really don't like that, but I really like the ending. I like her coming to terms with her not needing him, because I think that so many people would be afraid, right? And it would be easier for her to just go home and let it all go, but I like that she is so set in her convictions and that she stays with us. That's great. And the other thing that I briefly wanted to talk about this episode is that it's so interesting to see Glory here. Right now, in real time, I am in episode 519. I'm watching 520 tomorrow, and no, in case you're wondering, no, I'm not ready. And I think it's interesting, the timing of things, the fact that this would happen right now. But anyways, I'm like trying not to be concerned for Tara right now because she's totally fine. But what I was going to say is that Glory this episode is quite interesting because I actually really like the way that she's presented here. She's presented as somebody so funny, and there's something that seems so like unstable about her, and I do think that perfectly describes Glory. I think it's a very interesting introduction to her. If I'm being honest, the only reason I turned on this camera right now is that I wanted to say I love this episode so much.
Having a lot of fun.
Yes, I've heard you say that 162 times.
It is the best episode of Buffy, period. Actually, do I take it back? Whatever. It's like what I said in the beginning. It's my favorite. It might not be everybody's favorite, but if it is not your favorite, you're probably wrong. I do think this is my favorite Tello episode. In some ways, I think it might be tied to New Moon Rising, but in some ways, I think this definitely wins, because while I have rewatched New Moon Rising, I haven't rewatched it as many times as this episode. I think this episode just brings like a different level of like comfort. I think that New Moon Rising is amazing because it's like the discoveries, I want to say. It's Willow really coming to terms about what she feels about Tara. Whereas this episode, I think, like, shows me the certainty they already have in each other, and it shows me a domestic side of them, you know, of them being in bed together and just talking, and just in general, it felt very, like, I don't want to say common, I don't think that's the right word, but it just felt so natural, you know what I mean? And I really enjoy all their scenes this episode, and I think that New Moon Rising was definitely focused on Willow, whereas I think this one is obviously a little bit more focused on Tara. And I think I liked it. I liked the change in dynamic of actually having an episode focused on her, and not like because of Willow. Yeah, anyways, that's enough praise for this episode, because otherwise I would go on forever. I genuinely believe that I could do a whole TED Talk about this episode. I am not joking. The only reason I'm gonna stop talking right now is because this episode was already at 1 hour long. I'm gonna take this as my cue to leave, but please let me know in the comments. I want you guys to tell me like every single detail about this episode that I missed, that I didn't notice, that I would love to notice, because I genuinely love it, and I know that I'm gonna keep rewatching it. So hit me up, because I am so excited to talk about this one. You guys have no idea how excited I have been to be able to watch it with you guys. This is like the fun part of like actually being able to do these videos, is like actually interact with you guys, and hopefully you guys love this episode as well as I do. So yeah, I guess I will talk to you guys in the comments, and as of right now I will let past Domi go back and make her predictions for the next episode. So good luck to past Domi. May she nail these predictions. The next episode is called Fool for Love. Okay, this is it. We're gonna be talking about Spike and Buffy. We're gonna do it. This has to be the beginning of... Well, no, I feel like the beginning has started so long ago, but I do think that this has to be maybe the moment where Buffy realizes that Spike is into her and how things could change, or maybe Spike is doing really stupid things because of Buffy. Like, this is gonna be exciting, and I just know that this title has to do with Spike and Buffy. It has to. But which also concerns me because I feel like if we're talking about that, we're not talking about Joyce. And the longer that Joyce is sick and that we don't see her, the more concerned about her I am. So, you know, while the whole story with Dawn and with the key, I feel like that can wait. Joyce's sickness, I would not like to wait when it comes to that. I need my answers. I need Joyce to be fine so that I'm not like constantly concerned about her. So I guess we're gonna wait and see, but I am very excited for a potential Spike and Buffy episode. This could be fun. Really excited. I will see you guys in Fool for Love. And thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you all enjoy. So bye bye.